Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries. This is Book 7, Under a Red Moon, Chapter 66, A Taste of Fire.
Ooh.
And we'll find out what that means in just a few moments.
Fireball.
We'll have a recap and bring you up to speed. First, a couple of quick announcements. First off, be sure to, if you haven't done so already, head over to youtube.com/mini-terrain-domain, where you can check out all of our VODs, but also you can catch the complete trilogy of Cari's game mastering debut, The Darkness Outside of Broken Branch.
It was amazing.
It was so much fun. And we won't spoil the ending in case you haven't seen it. But
there's a twist, and it's exciting.
Yeah, the whole thing was really cool. Please do go check that out. As well as all of our other shows. Usually try to get these VODs up within the week of when they air, so you can head on over there and check that out. We've been off for about a month because of illnesses and other things, but tomorrow night we are scheduled to return with Descent into Avernus, our bi-weekly campaign. I believe that's going to happen. You never know, things with sicknesses and all that kind of stuff, but tune in tomorrow night to find out. Also, a quick note if you're new here, or reminder, as we're at the middle of November. That's just wild. We take December off for Scribes and Scrolls, but not completely. Behind the scenes, we are scheduling to do some pre-recording for what we call our interludes, which are one-on-one sessions. I take each of the players and we do a little bit of a dive into an aspect of their character, usually backstory, but it could be whatever. And those are usually around a couple hours. We'll pre-record those, and then we will be airing those every Monday at our usual game time throughout the month of December. So be sure to stay tuned for that. You can often find us in the chat during those as well. Nothing on Wednesdays because we finished Broken Branch, but I'm going to announce it here for the first time officially in 2023. We are returning with a new Mythos Investigators season, title to be determined, but our new keeper is none other than Ricky.
Ruckus! Hooray!
Ricky has been chomping at the bit for a very long time to run. I think his words were, "When can I terrorize you on your channel?"
Literally unabashed. It was like, okay, that's all awesome. When can I play? That's great. So, when can I play?
And that's more likely than not going to be our entire 2023 season. So we're very much looking forward to that. So be sure to tune in for more Eldritch horror in 2023. Thursday nights, Dawnbringers are currently on hiatus until 2023. We will be returning in January to finish out season 6 and then have a short finale arc, because the Dawnbringers is coming to an end after more than 4 years. It is time to wrap that campaign. So we are going to have a few more episodes of our season 6, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and then we're going to go directly into the finale season, The Rise of Ashardalon. You can head over to youtube.com/mini-terrain-domain to check out the finale trailer that kind of summarizes the whole of the Dawnbringers and is voiced over by none other than Cari. Absolutely amazing. Cari I had an idea and Cari took and ran with it and just made it so much more awesome. So do check that out.
I am also here.
Gary is here as well.
Gary does on Sunday nights. He has a game on Fortnerd.com. What is the name of that game, Gary?
Oh shucks, Cyberpunk Independence.
Woo!
Gary,
I am there.
Why don't we have a Cybernuck pundit?
Why don't we have a Cybernuck under pundits?
I've been watching that dyslexic girl on TikTok too much. It's getting to me. Cyberpunk Independence. We don't have an ad or a promo for that. Get me one.
Don't. I did request one to be made.
Did you?
But not by you.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm looking on the floor. Where did I drop that ball? Where did I drop that ball?
And it unfortunately, my neighbor and personal graphic designer, has been going through a difficult time right now. So I have not pressed her, and the ad will come at some point.
Give me the info. I can put a placeholder up.
Okay.
Just something simple.
I want to promote your game. I mean, we had your other game that I was in on here, and we want to promote that.
It's very cool. A lot
As a matter of fact,
players.
If you have a game or something you would like to promote, you can contact me. I
have a thing.
I'm
actually performing live. Did I tell you guys that?
Oh, I know that because I follow Dice Tales.
I'm performing with Dice Tales Live, and we are live again. That's how we started our show. We're going to be at the Comedy Project in Grand Rapids, Michigan, if you happen to be in the neighborhood, on 7 p.m. at the Comedy Project on Thursday, which is a date that I know in my head, of course, which is the 17th.
So,
yeah.
I'll tell you a little secret. I originally was planning to go to that and not tell you.
Oh, stop. But you can't make it.
I can't because I've got something I gotta do to get ready for a weekend trip. And
it's okay. It's okay.
That's all right. I'm giving you a warning. At some future show, I'm going to show up and not tell you that I'm coming.
Oh my God.
And you're just going to look out in the audience. I'm going to wait until the most dramatic moment and I'm going to shout something out. I wouldn't do that.
Not that kind of show, Jacob.
I don't want to disrupt
theater etiquette, please.
Show, but nonetheless, yeah. If you're in Michigan, if you're in Grand Rapids area, go check that out. Check out Dice Tales. I think it's Dice Tales Live on
Dice
YouTube.
Tales Live. It's a Twitch channel, YouTube, all the things.
Facebook, you're Dice Tales Live as well.
Correct.
Because you have the events.
We also have our podcast. We split up our show and
just look up Dice Tales Live.
It's great.
It's all over
everywhere.
The place. It's awesome.
We're like the wind.
Pardon me. One thing I forgot to mention before we get into the game.
We're chatting away here.
Yeah, we're just casual, just chatting away. I just threw another domain tome up there because what you're looking at, resubscribed with Prime. They've been subscribed for 54 months.
Whoa.
What you're looking at
months.
was our first and is our longest subscriber. Second place, I believe, belongs to Tomiko, but what you're looking at was our first ever subscriber when we got affiliated and has subscribed for 54 months. So I just gave you a domain tome for that. Of course, you can subscribe, gift subs, resubscribe. You can donate through the Ko-fi link or cheer 500 bits. All those things will earn domain tomes, just like Cari with the meta donation there. Whoops, wrong one.
Hello, boys.
So, last thing before we get into this game, just a reminder, as always, that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether or not you believe that, it's true. I know we say the same thing before every game. And it sounds like I'm just, checking some boxes and reading off a script. I'm not. We mean it. It's why we do it before everything. Mental health is super important. I've been very honest about my own struggles with anxiety and depression. I'm now looking into getting testing for ADHD and trying to figure some stuff out. But there was a time where I didn't know where to go. And I wish I had something as simple as this. I had to do a bunch of research to find it. But if you find yourself struggling, regardless of what that may be, first and foremost, know that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to to acknowledge those things, but you do not have to struggle alone. There are resources that are available to you. You can come into our chat at any point and type ~help, and a URL will show up. It'll also show up along the bottom of the screen if you're watching on VOD. But that is also, or rather that is, findahelpline.com, or you can check out takethis.org. They have a growing list of resources. Bookmark those sites, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
So,
Some Dungeons and
You
Dragons
all-
with the Flaming Flagon. Let's go.
you all have gone off the rails. Not that this was ever a railroad campaign, but we have broken free through the situations within the confines of the Candlekeep Mysteries adventures. You traveled unwittingly a couple thousand miles to the north with no way to get back home. And now you've got a party member who has been turned to stone, another party member who has been turned to dead. And so you're dealing with some stuff. And you've got a couple of new party members, the cleric Marta Grasshand, who has joined, and Ravona Shadowheart, sort of a looming nemesis for you all, has appointed Vornushka, Vorn's sister, younger sister, adversarial younger sister, is now traveling with you in the wake of Vorn's death, because something is up with souls. Souls aren't getting through to the Shadowfell the way they're supposed to. So you've been tasked with looking into that, as well as Marta has told you that now, in just a little over a day's time, on the during the summer solstice, in the high forest, there's a place called the Grandfather Tree that you may be able to find some information about how you can help Vorn and Togo. So you've begun traveling southward through the forest. You had a brief run-in with some Ankegs that you quickly dispatched, though they turned out to be somebody's pets. There is a very unhappy gnomish family. They were less pet, more like pack animals. So it was less like you killed the family dog and more like you killed the family team of horses.
Ooh, that's not better.
No, either way,
Okay.
It's a bad situation. But it's a thing that you did.
Yep, sure is.
So as you continue traveling, you finally emerged from the Silverwood Forest, and you found that as darkness was growing near, a couple miles away, there was what appeared to be a town. So you headed over there. You found the fortified town of Olliston's Hold, and with a little bit of conversation, they let you in. As you entered, you noticed that it's a pretty decent sized hold. It looks to house a couple hundred people, probably serve several hundred more people in the surrounding homesteads and farmland. There's a small garrison in there. You saw the closed stalls of a marketplace in the middle of the town. You turned down one of the main thoroughfares where you headed toward the building with all the lights coming out of it, where you could hear laughter and singing and dancing, or singing and music. And then you saw somebody get shoved forcibly, backpedaling through the front door, right before they fell off the front steps of this establishment. A big burly man, silhouetted in the light of the tavern, steps out, grabs hold of the person by the shirt, and says, "Here, let me give you a hand." Whack! And punches him out, where he goes tumbling down to the ground. And we're going to pick up at that exact moment as this figure comes spilling onto the ground about 15 feet away from you. The big burly man just turns
Teera's eyes
and walks
light
inside.
up.
What do you do?
I guess I would probably specifically, like, Teera's not even looking at anybody. She's just looking at the front door of this establishment, and her eyes are just alight. And she's like, "This is my kind of place." And she's just got this childish grin on her face.
And Venushka looks at Teera and says, "Mine too."
And yeah, Teera kind of for just a second thinks to herself and just doesn't say it out loud. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Venushka. And then Teera would actually just kind of, without conference, would just walk inside or start to walk inside.
As you start walking, you hear Mizya just go, "Yes, yes. I wonder if they have mimosas."
I'm sure they have everything, Mizya.
You know, everything is a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? You're right, Doc. I'm sure they have mimosas, Mizya.
The individual who got punched out, as you're walking past, he seems to be this sort of squirrely human, looks to be in his early to mid 20s, a little disheveled, has that look of somebody who's both a little bit drunk or a lot bit drunk, but also punch drunk because he just got hammered in the face. His nose is bleeding profusely as he stands up and he kind of looks at all you walking by, and he just glances towards you, wiping the blood in a smear across his face, and he goes, "Oi, what are you looking at?" And he turns and starts stumbling away into the night, mumbling under his breath.
And Teera would just sort of like shrug and look at Venushka actually and just be like, "It's probably a good thing he didn't challenge us to a fight then, eh?"
I could have helped his bloody nose out for sure. But
And
you know,
yeah.
what she means though is that the blood axe would have drained his blood out of
Jesus Christ. And Teera's smile fades slightly as she does. Her eyes kind of drift to the blood axe and be like, and then she would just go continue on into the tavern.
Teera and Venushka kind of like shrugs her shoulders, and she looks at Doc and is like, "It's thirsty and needs to drink and eat like everything else." And
Wait, that
Venushka,
was, you were trying to tell a joke, right?
correct. Yeah, and follows Teera in.
Incredible.
You all head up into this tavern, and as you enter, you immediately feel the warmth, both in terms of atmosphere, but just general warmth of a well-lit, well-populated tavern. While not overflowing, there are quite a few people in this place, eating and drinking. There's some musicians over in one corner, playing a lute and a tambourine and a fiddle, you know, a few other instruments as various music is being played. There's a good-sized bar. There are a handful of individuals that are walking around, serving, taking people's orders. Somebody behind the bar. You see a human man behind the bar. There's a handful of people that you see around this tavern. You see a human man who is tending bar. The servers running around are a human woman. There is a moon elf. And there is every once in a while you see a group of people will suddenly just kind of look like, whoa, what? And you see a blur of a gnome just move past. All of a
Oh my
sudden,
God.
he stops, and you see him just sort of do this, like, as he stops. Suddenly, he turns, sees you all, and he just looks up at all of you, and he says, "All right, welcome into the Flaming Flagon. Find yourself a place to be seated anywhere around there. You can find a place open. Hopefully, you can all find a place to be together, and I will be with you as soon as I can." And he takes off.
Doc is gonna lean in to Teera, and he's gonna say, "You know, speaking that quickly and not taking a breath in between, that could kill somebody."
I don't know if it could kill him. It doesn't look like anything could kill him.
Anything is a lot of things. There's you need to stop using these absolutes. And I'll tell you why. Because anything is a lot of things. If I dropped a mountain on that gnome, I don't think he's quick enough to avoid that. Also, if Little One, or before he was not Little One, when he
Von
was
Reed.
big but small, if he rolled over on the gnome, also he probably wouldn't have a good day. Additionally, if he was hit by lightning, if he was drowned at the bottom of an ocean, if he was eaten by a dragon turtle, if he was run over even by a large herd of oxen, that might be uncomfortable as well.
Doc, I would put both my hands on Doc's chest and be like, I know you hate eating and drinking. I bet that this place has something to drink that even you would enjoy.
Doc is going to look at Teera, and he's going to say, "No, I don't think so."
No offense, Teera. I don't think he needs to eat or drink ever again.
I would like everybody to make me a perception check, please.
Amazing.
I don't have any dice.
Our
Fuck,
first
Jake.
roll, that's important for this game. Perception's a 14.
I gotta fucking play a Ricky. I gotta
14,
roll on fucking D&D.
Marta.
While Gary is swearing and finding dice, be
Playing
sure to
a
check us
fucking
out on
Ricky is the
spring.com, where we have t-shirts, stickers, and so much more. Spring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
I didn't even figure
Seven.
to say
Honored to
that.
do a Ricky.
Marta got a 13. Mizya got a 21.
Side note, I've got a little bit of a sinus thing, which makes me a little bit raspy.
A little
It's,
more
perfect.
Michigander.
It's very,
Okay.
yeah, right? It's like
It's not.
my mother used to say whenever anything tiny would happen to me, "Oh, that's a heck of a note." And I said that might be the most Midwest mom thing I've ever heard anybody say.
Bornushka, what'd you get on your perception?
21.
Oh my god.
Vornushka, there are two things you notice with that 21. I'm going to give you the most prominent one, and then Teera, you got a 14. I'll give you the second one. Vornushka, you notice that there is a heavy scent of something very spicy in the air. Whatever is being cooked in the kitchen is a very spicy dish that is has a very strong the word is escaping me. I'll tell you in just a moment. It has a very strong curry smell. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, yes.
It's always curry.
Teera,
Yeah.
what you notice is towards the center of this tavern, what you might have mistaken initially for being a sconce, providing additional lighting in this place, you realize is a standard-sized drinking flagon that is floating about 4 feet in the air
God.
and is completely wreathed in flame.
Oh.
And it's literally just
floating there?
just floating there. And you remember seeing the name of this place on the front.
Flaming flagon.
This is the Flaming Flagon. You do spot over not terribly far from this Flaming Flagon, you spot a table with enough seats to seat all of you.
Vernushka right away says, "It smells like a dragon's armpit in here."
Teera would lift Marta up and put her on her shoulders so Marta can see. Otherwise, Marta is having a hard time seeing, I'm sure, being such a tiny, tiny thing.
And Vernushka's going to kind of like so. How tall is Teera, by the way?
Teera is 6 feet. I had it written down. Three, I
6'10",
think.
6'3".
6'3".
Okay. Vernushka's like 6'11", 7.
Oh,
She's
wow.
kind of gonna lean down and she's gonna go. What are the humans so off about? There's been no battle. There's been no blood spilled. Why are they celebrating? Why is everybody so happy in here?
And Teera smiles and just says, "You don't always need a reason for celebration. Maybe it's, I don't know. What is the equivalent
Tuesday.
of Tuesday? That's what
Wednesday.
I was gonna say. Yeah, maybe it's it's Kython.
Actually,
It's the time of flowers. The solstice is coming up.
tell you in a moment. For some reason, it wasn't in my quick load. Where did it go?
I used to know all the
Oh.
Skyrim days of the week by heart.
What is this game called? Candlekeep. There we go. I have an adventure journal
Nice.
that's not
Check out
loading.
your calendar of Harptos today.
Well, if you look right below my name here on the overlay, it says that it is the 18th of Kython.
yeah.
But what I would like to know, because you got me wondering about it.
Yep.
And
all the while, Teera is just kind of explaining to Vornushka, it's like, any reason's a good reason to celebrate.
I suppose.
You got people around you that you care about, when most of us do. And Teera would kind of give Vornushka a dirty look.
It's sort of like the equivalent of a Thursday-ish.
Thursday.
So that's college. That's college party night.
But you
Yeah.
also know that in addition to the summer solstice coming up, you are only a little over 5 weeks away from Midsummer, which is one of the annual festivals.
Oh, God.
But also, this year, being 1492 DR, is a leap year, which means immediately after Midsummer is Shield Meet, which happens only every 4 years.
Wow, shield me.
So, in less than 5 weeks, it will be a quadrennial celebration.
Are there any barbarians at this place?
Oh.
Mostly
Well,
what
there's
you
one.
see looking around
There's two.
here, you see what looks like probably people that work the merchant stalls during the day. You see maybe a few homesteaders and farmhands. You see a couple that look like they might be soldiers of some kind. You don't see anybody that really looks like they're I mean, not that there's a specific barbarian archetype, but still going off of that 21 perception you got, though. One thing you do notice for Nushka as you're looking around is your eyes settle on across the room near the bar is a very large Goliath. You can see his slightly gray blue skin, very dark tattoos going up and down his arms, and up over his head. He's clean shaven, bald head, and he has a very thick and full beard. Ooh. And he is staring across the room right at you, Vernushka.
Oh my
Vernushka's
God.
gonna like tap Teera and she goes,
Fight.
most of these men are afraid of me in here, but I can't tell if that one is checking me out or not.
Teera would look over and make an insight check. I want to make an
I
insight
would
check
like-
on the Goliath.
Go ahead and make an insight
I?
check.
Awesome. Thanks. I will. Yeah, I got a 7.
Well, let me see how well he's hiding his emotions. 'Cause I want to roll 2.
Amazing.
I also got a 7.
Incredible. I win.
I would say that you can see he's looking at Vornushka in the same way that you might look at somebody that you think you know them from somewhere, but you're not sure.
Oh. So I would look at-
Vornushka,
Mhm.
how
Yes.
far would your tribe of orcs have ravaged?
Oh.
Oh, let's see. Well, I would say we've done about over since Vernushka has ruled the land. A 10-mile radius is pretty broad. That's pretty big as a radius.
Mhm.
It's a pretty good size area, but it's also well outside of this area.
Yeah.
And
Should I
yet,
say
what is
30-mile
his
radius?
ravaging area?
I would like you.
I mean, if it's a lifetime.
I mean, but we're all on foot and holding territory. Like ravished. Is
I mean, you're
different than
talking
holding territory.
the region you're in now is
Mhm.
several days journey,
Okay.
like a few hundred miles away from your homeland.
Yeah, down and
So-
back out reasonably probably 15, 20 miles in terms of a square radius.
Make me a history check, Vornushka.
The math teacher in me just cringed that you said a square radius.
I'm sorry.
Makes me so. It's okay.
It's a Cthulhu word.
It's
It doesn't
fine.
exist.
Square radius. It took me a second to
just-
figure it out.
It just made my stomach invert, but whatever, it's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm going to use that in my Cthulhu story. I got a 14 on the history.
Okay. So yeah, there's just this moment where this Goliath is looking at you, and then he just sort of kind of shrugs and looks away.
Mhm.
At that same moment, Doc, you hear somebody right at your side where you're sitting at this table, and you actually feel a hand on your arm. Looking over, you see that same gnome that was moving very quickly as he just suddenly is there, and he has a hand on your arm as he's going. Just, I just need a moment.
Oh my god, he's adorable.
Oh, pardon me. I don't mean. Ooh. Doc, I would like you to make a Arcana check.
Okay,
He has magic asthma.
18.
With an 18, you would recognize. You would recognize that this gnome is showing signs of something called haste addiction, which kind of makes sense given the state he was in when you first walked in. He's showing signs of somebody that uses haste a lot. Yeah, so
Like haste the ability, or
Haste
haste like
the
is haste
spell.
a drug?
haste
Oh,
is a
okay.
magical spell that allows you to
Like-
move at double speed and do things a lot quicker.
Correct.
It
I
also-
was wondered if like haste was a name for like some other like thing
Like
in this
D&D
region.
No, that's a great name for a narcotic, though.
Haste, yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
like D&D meth, right?
Yes.
So Doc is gonna look down at him, and he's gonna say, "You look unwell."
Well, it's fine. It'll pass in a moment.
Are you addicted to haste?
That's it. That's absolutely absurd. I don't. Haste. What? I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. I'm feeling much better.
Potion?
No, I know. I'm sorry. I will send.
Relic?
I will send Chavez over here.
It's really not good to be addicted to things, especially things like haste.
Yes, thank you very much. And he sort of stumbles off away.
As he stumbles off, Doc is kind of gonna raise his voice, and he's gonna say, "You shouldn't be addicted to haste."
Oh my god, incredible!
As you say that, a moon elf comes walking up to you, and they have the look of somebody. They have a slightly athletic build. Half of their head is shaved, and the other part of their hair, kind of very dark hair, falls across their pale moon elf skin. Kind of comes down like this, and it tapers into from a very dark to a very dark shade of green. And you see that up and down both of their arms are several tattoos of varying widths that go from their wrists all the way up to their shoulders, where they're wearing this sort of sleeveless outfit. And they lean over towards you, Doc, and just say, "It's not terribly polite to call out somebody's affliction in public like that, especially if you don't know them. He'll be fine. He just needs a little bit of rest. In the
You sell him
meantime,
the haste?
I'm sorry?
Is that why I said, do you sell him the haste? Is that why you care?
Everybody has something that they're dealing with and ways that they deal with it.
Uh-huh. So that's a yes.
No.
So then why did you just say that?
I am here to sell you food and drink. If not, you can freely leave.
I don't want either of those things.
Duck.
Venushka will slap a, I don't know, she's not really good at math or counting gold, but put like a handful of combination of gold and silver and whatever she has on the
Please tell me
table.
Bornushka puts like 500 gold down for a drink.
It's probably that amount. And,
That's amazing.
And she puts it on the table and she goes, "Will this be enough?"
Teera immediately, I want to make like a reflex check to like cover up. I don't want people around here to know that we have this much money.
I'm going to say this.
And Venushka's like, "What? Like,
I want
try to do something nice and buy a drink for the bar. For us, at least."
Vernushka, roll me a D 6.
Incredible. Thank you, Smokebeard. The smokiest.
Smokebeard. Smokebeard.
Smokebeard.
That is
Living
a
in the
3.
smoke.
So yeah, you put about 300 gold pieces worth of coin.
Jesus Christ!
Teera, go ahead and make a dexterity sleight of hand check.
Oh, okay.
That'll be opposed to Chavez's perception.
I got a nat 20 on my
go.
I imagine like as soon as the coins fall, unless, hold on. Did
Give
my
me
other
1
friend
second.
get it? Okay.
They are more focused on giving Doc the side eye and don't see as you quickly obscure and cover up the gold pieces.
Yeah. And Teera would just kind of like very swiftly sort of like scoop this into a bag, into another pouch, and she would hand it back to Vornushka and just kind of like, "You don't want everybody in the world to know how much gold we have on us, do you?"
Let them come? Or are you saying that this will be better served by weapons for my clan?
No, I'm just saying we should save it. We should spend it on something worthwhile, not drinks for the bar.
Like weapons for the clan. Good idea. It's just been a while since I've been to a town, if you will. Okay. What do I need to buy a drink for you and I and for that
I don't know, probably about
drow
gold.
there?
Probably about 1 gold, depending on what everybody orders.
Shavesh turns and looks at all of you and says, all right, well, I'm not going to assume that all of you are of the same attitude as this one here. Can I
Who,
get
me?
you anything to eat or drink?
A
Yes,
round
please.
for the table, please.
A round of what?
What are you having, Teera?
I want an IPA. Something strong, a double.
An IPA? What is an
Yeah.
IPA?
There's no India in this world, so it would be like an FPA, a Faerunian Pale Ale.
I want a Faerunian Pale Ale, please. Something strong, a double. Something aged in bourbon barrels, please.
I want something that would kill a dragon.
Mizya?
Dragon, you say?
Yeah, something that would a dragon would burn the chest of a dragon. That's what that
If you're willing to spend a little bit of extra gold.
And she reaches to grab like the whole pouch of gold again.
How much extra gold?
God bless America. Discord just dropped again. And Discord just reconnected again.
Jesus.
I don't know what is happening. We're just going to roll with it.
Bless your heart. go.
For 40 gold pieces, I can sell you a bottle of Crosspot's Dragon Fat Whiskey.
Ooh.
Crosspot.
Yes, I'll take the whole bottle. 40 gold.
Vonushka, it is typically custom. This is a major bluff, by the way. It is a custom to get yourself an ale, something to sip on, and then get the bottle of liquor for the table.
And that's what we'll do. We'll get the bottle of liquor for the table. You and I, Teera.
Wait, is you sure that's the custom?
Yeah, it's
From
a
where?
custom, Doc.
What does it
And
cost?
Teera would wink at Doc.
Do you have something in your eye?
No, what are you talking about?
Are you constipated?
No, Doc, I'm
It's just
not.
your face looks very strained.
It's
Is
a
the custom the s-
custom.
Is the custom the same as being constipated?
No,
I
it
mean,
isn't.
Does alcohol shared by people at a table constipate you? Or does it relieve you? Is that what she's looking to achieve?
I know the answer to
Neither.
this one. It is relieving.
It builds, and Teera would look, okay, for the first time, Teera would kind of look over at Vornushka and be like, if anything, it builds camaraderie.
Yes. Camaraderie. That is a word that my brother used to say. And she looks back at Teera with like a small thread of connection.
Mm-hmm. Same. Exactly. Just a tiny little, like, yeah,
We're
And,
talking about Vorn, right?
correct.
I mean, she could have multiple brothers. You don't know.
I do.
We're
least 12
talking
of them.
about home.
But Vaughn was my favorite and the one that I hated the most.
So you both loved and hated him equally?
I'm sorry to interrupt your getting to know one another. I don't know if this is a date situation or whatever, but
Yes.
did you
Yes,
want
it is.
do you want food?
No.
Yes.
The bottle
do.
of the,
Yes.
the dragon piss ale that you whatever
Crosspot's Dragon something.
Yes.
Yes.
What did I say?
An SPA for me, and I would also have 3 turkey legs and potatoes.
We're fresh out of potatoes and turkey legs. We've got Scold's curry in abundance.
Do you have any boar?
We do have boar.
Is
We'll
that
take some-
because this conversation is boring?
Doc! Doc! And Teera would take him by both his shoulders and shake him and be like, you made a joke! A
That's his
pun!
feather.
The best of all the kinds of jokes.
I make jokes all the time. I just think maybe they go over your head. Maybe because you're short.
I
Yeah,
am
she
the
is
tallest
short,
one in
isn't
this
she?
pot. And Teera looks kind of up as even she sits, looks up at Doc and up at Vornushka and be like, son of a bitch. And just sits there and then says, I'll have some boar.
50 gold will cover the bottle service and
Yeah.
the meal and the ales.
You see
And-
Vornushka counting.
And
Teera would not at
VIP
Vornushka.
rooms for a month? 50 gold.
The
My
bottle
word.
is 40 gold.
God, it's 40 gold.
Vornushka's 1, 2,
You spend your
3,
gold. Ridiculous.
5, 10, 15, 20.
I don't like this person.
Okay, Doc, we're not staying for long.
This
Just
one.
the night.
And he's going to point at the drow.
What drow?
The one
Which drow?
who's
Mizya?
talking. No.
No, the one talking's a moon elf.
Moon elf.
He's going to point to the moon elf then.
No, Doc. We're just looking to stay the night. We're not going to be here for long. Be nice to people.
I'm always nice to people.
Yes, you're the nicest person on the planet and the smartest and the most
Right.
merciful.
This one's also the most honest one.
Yeah.
Doc, what do you see?
Well, I see that kindness is honesty. Because if you lie to people, it means you don't respect them. And if you don't respect them, what are you even doing?
So, Teera, you stink. Am I being kind?
Oh, there's a nuance to this that I think we should discuss. And Teera has an exhausted look on her face, and she
No.
just looks up at the moon elf with a desperate kind of like hurry look in her
Vornushka,
eyes.
when you say Teera stinks, do you mean her odor? Or do you mean in the more metaphysical sense, as in a stinker, someone of ill repute, or a person with whom you would not want to associate? Or both? I'm just curious about the context of Teera, you stink.
I smell an evil about her that I recognize.
Oh. Well, I didn't know you could smell evil.
I mean,
Is that like
I want
a
to
really
talk
bad
about
gas?
evil and smell. I don't know. It's a.
I would kind of like lean away from Vornushka and I'd be like, how about we change the subject, huh? I was just
Doc-
starting to think about possibly maybe liking you.
Doc is going to sort of lean into Teera, and Doc is going to whisper in his Doc way that's not whispering at all. Is this a takes one to know one situation?
I think so. I mean, to be fair, she does carry an axe that sucks the souls and the blood out of people. So.
I only say that because everyone assumed that Shadowheart was a bad person, and then Shadowheart came and killed Vorn and trapped us in this vine thing, and then brought Vornushka out to say, "Oh, Vornushka has to walk around with us." So I wonder if, and that's a big if because I'm not sure about Shadowheart's motivations. I wonder if Shadowheart will be the villain at the end of this tale. But I'm done.
I'm not sure about Shadowheart's motivations either. Vornushka, care to share?
It is the stench of a death and a past that passes through, I should say, mother through child, in the way that I stink of death as well.
And to clarify, you said evil, not death. So, I mean, I think everyone who's traveled with Teera would recognize that she might stink of death because she's killed a lot of guys. But evil is not necessarily Teera unless there's something which my very keen senses aren't able to detect.
Maybe
Teera?
evil's not the right word. How many have you killed, Teera?
And Teera would kind of, because we're in a northern area, she's kind of started to cover up a little bit, but she would kind of like pull up her sleeve, and she has these, specifically these scars that are like parallel. They were not made like by accident, and I say each one of these is 50.
I would recognize those scars amongst any orc tribe. A mighty warrior you must be indeed. And Vernushka will, obviously show her long tattoos that are so many tattoos that look like one giant tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go across like her neckline through her whole left side of her body down to her thigh.
And Teera would not admit this, but she is a little bit intimidated by this. And she would look over and was like, Doc, you were going to say something.
Doc, a random woman walking by, human woman, high fives you.
Stuff.
Nope, just high fives you as you're sitting there with your hand up. Just.
And as she does so, Doc is going to turn around as she's walking away, and he's gonna give her a finger gun.
Oh.
Make a charisma check.
What's a gun?
Obviously, it's a hand crossbow, Cari. Get with the program.
There's gunslingers in this world.
Not in this world.
Oh,
You haven't seen any.
you're right.
Canonically, there's at least one.
23.
Nice.
When you do that, it just happens to be as she kind of glances back at you, and she kind of stumbles for a moment in almost in the way somebody who's very drunk would, but you realize it's because she sort of tripped over the edge of somebody's chair because she was staring back at you, and she just kind of gives one of these and turns and continues on her way.
Yes.
Doc, you were going to say something. What?
I'm very attractive. But what I was going to say, Teera, is if each one of those lines represent 50, how do you subcount? It doesn't seem like a very effective method of enumeration, because then you'd have to remember from 1 to 49 until you can put the scar at 50. It seems like there should be a better way. Do you have an abacus or a slate of some kind? Or do you just remember? Because it seems like if you just remembered, it would be very easy to forget. And after all, you keep adding guys to your tally fairly regularly. And what happens if you
Imagine somebody clunks a drink down, and Teera would take it and just sort of look at Doc and be like, you just kind of remember. And it is shockingly hard to forget.
As the York way goes, all of our kills are measured.
And then Teera would say all of our kills are measured, but she would say it in Orcish.
In Orcish, and as what is the dragon armpit? What is our what is our dragon crystal?
So for a moment, the moon elf comes back. They have they seem to be a little slightly better mood, and they say, I am Shavesh Kai. They set down several tankards and a pitcher of ale, and say, this is Grayland's brew. It is an FPA, local.
Ooh.
And then places a bottle, and you can see the label clearly says Crosspots Dragon Fat Whiskey. And it has some gnomish writing on it. It's in a very dark bottle. I would like you to roll a D10 for me, Ricky.
And all right, I'll roll a D10. That is going to be a 2.
Okay.
Venushka is going to, when she pours the bottle out into the shot glasses or the tall shot glasses, it almost pours out like an oil It's very
Oh.
thick and viscous, and you can see little bits of, I don't know, whatever's in
something.
of maybe it's dragon nails, whatever it is. It's little bits of like little fermented chunks that are floating around as she pours this bottle out, and it takes like, it's almost like those old 1980s Heinz ketchup commercials when they pour it out and it kind of like.
Well, it's not that thick. It's a regular
Okay.
whiskey. To be clear,
Okay,
I
make it-
have descriptions for every alcohol you will be served.
All right, when you describe it to me, I will stop back.
It's
I
very
will stop
similar
backseat you.
to what you described. It's not quite as thick. It's crosspot, and we'll say this is something that is in part. It's like on the bottle is written like the history of crosspot's dragon fat whiskey,
We're a family.
a dragon mystery in every bottle.
Yeah.
Crosspot is an eccentric gnomish alchemist who mixes melted dragon fat with rye whiskey, and he ages it for several days, where he then freezes the bottle and skims the fat from the top, doing this a few times. The remaining whiskey is described as having a slick mouthfeel, with a strange spice given by the type of dragon used, presenting an unparalleled taste. You do not know what kind of dragon fat was used in this,
Great.
but you can certainly
I
find
hope it
out
was
when
that
you
little
take a
red
drink.
bastard we killed.
The worm. All right, so I wasn't too far. Is it closer to like a Mrs. Butterworth, like viscous, or is it just like a whiskey?
It's
light Butterworth.
I would
at
say
best.
it's closer to Goldschlager, but dark, because there are little bits of dragon fat sort of
Perfect.
floating
All right.
around in it.
So
Terrible.
I'm going to pour at least
Dragonschlager.
I'm gonna pour a shot glass worth. And I'm gonna slide it over to Teera. And I'm gonna pour one for Vernushka. And I'm gonna say, for Vaughn.
So Vaughn.
Though he
And-
may be gone, he will never die.
And Teera wouldn't say anything to that. She would just present her glass and clink, and then.
I can't help but notice the square radius of your shot glass, Cari.
Listen, it's called an apothum, you uncultured swine.
So you taste this. It's a very strong rye whiskey, but you also it also sort of sticks in your mouth a little bit, like Goldschlager. But you also feel sort of a tingly sensation, and I would like you both to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Con save. That's a 19 for Teera.
That is a 19 for Vernushka as well.
Perfect.
You get that sort of
Winning!
involuntary, like, but it's almost as if you touched something electrified. You have, for the next hour, resistance to lightning damage. This was made clearly with blue dragon fat.
Ugh. What's that tingle? That's weird.
It is deliciousness.
It tastes good. I'm just saying it felt weird.
That looks disgusting.
Teera would reach out with one finger and touch Doc, and imagine there's like a little static shock, like boop. when
It's
she-
like, yeah, just real
gets-
little, like,
just a tiny little like bap gets him.
And Vernushka says, "Did I ever tell you? Well, of course I haven't told you. I just met you all. The story of Vaughn's Sandanvok." And pours herself another shot.
And Teera would kind of smile and be like, "You guys, your tribe still does the Southern Buck?"
Your tribe doesn't.
No. Haven't for a long time.
And Varnushka kind of has a look that says, like, progressive liberals on her face, and pours herself another shot, and we'll leave it at that.
Amazing.
You all hear from a couple tables over, there's a crowd of, or a group of people, about 4 or 5 folks sitting at this table. And all of a sudden you just hear this sort of, as flagons are slamming on the table in rhythm, and you start hearing, taste the fire, taste the fire, taste the fire, taste the fire. And then everybody cheers. And the rest of the tavern starts picking up this chant as everybody starts going, taste the fire, taste the fire. And then you see one of the people, this woman who looks to be in her probably early 20s, stands up, human woman. She stands up, she drains the rest of whatever's in her mug, and she goes, all right, fine, I'll do it. At which point, the very large Goliath, who looks to be over 7 feet tall, comes walking over. He passes by your table. You can feel the floorboard shifting as he walks by.
Oh my god.
He steps up and he looks at the young woman and he says, you're gonna taste the fire tonight, huh? All right. It's 25 gold. But you keep whatever you earned.
What does that mean? Oh boy.
And she looks and somebody at the table pours a bottle of something and they slide a shot over and she goes, all right, I'm going to do it. And you can see everybody in the tavern is starting to gather around where this flaming flagon is floating in the middle as she starts.
Oh my god, no. No, no,
And
no.
she goes,
no,
all
no,
right.
no. It's the sword in the stone situation, y'all.
All right. Here we go.
Doc, what are these humans doing? What is going on?
I don't know, but it looks ridiculous.
It pans across. I imagine the shot is Vornushka looking concerned, Doc looking concerned, and then it pans to Teera, who's just going like, I don't know. And just smiling the biggest smile.
She
And,
walks
like,
up.
Varnushka looks at Teera like, maybe she'll catch on fire, and kind of shares that smile too of,
I don't know what she's about to do, but I think it's going to be fun to watch.
She walks up and she grabs hold of the flagon, just grips it by its handle, and you see the flame immediately goes and engulfs her hand, and she goes, I'm gonna do it! As everybody starts yelling, taste the fire! Taste the fire! And that's where we're gonna take our break.
Oh.
Varnushka so wants to taste the fire.
What?
You just might have an opportunity to participate in a taste of fire. We are going to take a quick break. Just a reminder that we've been having some technical difficulties, so if the stream drops, we are going to keep doing things behind the scenes. But otherwise, stick around. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
I've got my phone up.
Of course. It wouldn't be a break if Ricky didn't leave right as we were ready to go.
We're timing him.
He said he would be back in 30 seconds.
Yep,
We'll see
he
if
makes
in
it.
that 30 seconds the stream drops again for the 6th time.
In the
Bless your
intervening time, this message is brought to you by me. D20 is the worst.
D20 sucks. Ooh.
Why does D20 suck? Why do you have
He kn-
such a vendetta against D20? I like
He
D20.
knows
He's kind
what
of got a
he
lot
did.
of vendettas.
He
Vendetta?
knows what he did. No, I think it's vendettas.
Okay. I will note that Ricky has not made it back. It has been 45 seconds.
All I'm saying is D20 knows what he did and what he's about.
About-
Okay. So, While we're waiting on the Ricky timer, which is more than now twice what he said, you all watch as this young woman has grabbed hold of the flaming flagon,
Teera's smile grows.
and fire is beginning to wreathe her hands, or her hand where she's grabbing it, and you can see her tensing up, and you see the light, the firelight, just dancing across her face, and she's holding onto it, and she's wincing. She holds on, and then you hear everybody who has stopped chanting as she grabbed hold of it. The flames suddenly go, they flare a little bit brighter, and she goes, ah! And then she holds on for a little bit longer, and then you see the flames are climbing further up her arm, and you can see that the skin is burning. You can see it turning red underneath, and she's holding on, and the flames grow a little brighter, and all of a sudden she goes, and she lets go. And for a moment, the fire is still on her hand. And then the flames go. And you see the blistered and burned skin of her hand. But she doesn't do anything more than just sort of hold it like this. And then she turns. And the burning flagon suddenly turns over. And 200 gold pieces spill out of it. Like a slot machine.
Oh my god.
And the big Goliath stands there as if to challenge anybody to try to run up and steal the gold. As she starts to scoop it up, and he kind of reaches down to help her. And he says, "You keep whatever comes out." Then he looks around. "Anybody else want to taste the fire?"
Teera would stand up and not approach, but just say, how does it tell how much comes out? Is it how long you hang on?
Hell yeah! And Voronushka stands up.
So the Goliath turns and looks at you, Teera. Kind of looks down at you. "This flagon has been burning for over 60 years. As long as a fee of 25 gold pieces is paid, whoever can hold on to it longer, more and more gold comes out. It seems to increase, doubling each time. Nobody's made it more than 4 rounds."
Voronushka slides over exactly 25 pieces of gold to Teera.
I would do this. Yeah, I would slides it over to me.
Yeah, like hands it like into your palm.
Oh, yeah, I would take it and I want to go up and try it.
Wait,
And then Voronushka pockets 25 gold herself. It's gonna do it too.
okay, so who's going first?
Me.
Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to... Thank you, Arsenic Catnip for the sub.
Hey.
Increase in our domain tomes. Not 154.
Thank you. Wow.
Jeez.
Oh.
I hit a button wrong. We're at 16.
And Voronushka's gonna lean over to Doc and say, Doc, do you feel pain like everyone else?
I think everyone feels pain in one way or another.
I guess I'm asking, do you care about the pain you feel?
Oh no, not at all. When you've been where I am, things tend to hurt less.
And Voronushka's gonna raise her eyebrows and say, do you want to try?
Okay.
25 gold.
As Teera steps up,
Ah. Ah.
the whole bar starts chanting again. "Taste the fire! Taste the fire! Taste the fire!"
I would like to rage, if that helps.
Yes.
Just for flavor.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a flavor thing. It's not going to help you because it's constitution, not strength.
Oh, okay.
Um,
There you sure it can't help me with Constitution?
What kind of barbarian
Just
are you?
for this kit? What do you mean?
Berserker.
Path of the Berserker.
Then, I mean, if you were a bear barbarian and you took half damage from flame,
I'm a
maybe
bear
you could
barbarian.
argue.
Who would
Well,
like
there
a...
you go.
Oh my god.
I'm a bear barbarian. Let's
So
go.
that might be useful.
Well, fuck.
And I
I'll
just
go-
straight don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Who's going first? So everybody's gonna try.
Teera is going first.
Yeah.
So, whoops, I hit the wrong person. So Teera.
Yeah.
After a moment, everybody sort of calms down as the Goliath says, "Whenever you're ready, grab hold and hold on as long as you can."
And Teera would like kind of just shake it out and like with like a war cry reach out and grab the flagon.
As soon as you reach up and grab hold of this flagon, I have
Ooh,
no
look,
idea
the
what's
other side of
happening.
Gary's office.
As soon as you reach up and grab this flagon, you feel the heat of it. It's like sticking your hand. Well, it's like grabbing a metal flagon that's on fire.
Okay.
And you immediately see your hand wreathed in fire. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Your raging doesn't help you, but you do have 16 domain tomes at your disposal.
I am gonna use one because I bought us one tonight, and
So
this
that will give
be
you
fine.
advantage.
Nice
Okay.
work, Cari.
I buy one for us every session, and very often you're the one who uses it, Gary.
There's
so
a reason they're
tonight
called Caris.
it will
Cari.
be me. And I got a 23 Constitution check.
There you go.
So you hold on to this, gripping tightly, determined. You take 3 points of fire damage.
Ow.
You feel the heat intensifying as it begins to work its way up your arm. I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
I'll make this one straight up. This one's a 14.
You take 7 more points of fire damage,
Got it.
and the pain is so intense you involuntarily release the flagon, failing that saving throw.
Damn it.
After a moment, the flagon turns over and 100 gold pieces spill out onto the floor.
And Teera would kind of like be sort of clutching her hand into her stomach, her bad hand, and with her good hand is like just gathering the gold and be like, "Oh, at least I made my money back." Hey, and then she would like look over at that moon elf and be like, "Shot of something cheap."
We have a whole bottle of dragon.
I don't want to waste that. I can't taste shit right now. I'm very angry.
So, Doc or Vornushka, who's up next?
Sure, Doc will go.
Okay. Same thing. Everybody starts chanting. The Goliath kind of looks at you, Doc, sizing you up. Well, it seems as though the flaming flagon is popular with strangers tonight. Go ahead, and when you're ready, grab hold.
I'm sure I've done dumber things, and Doc will grab the flagon.
Immediately, you feel the heat of the flagon, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Because
Teera's kind of like punch drunk and just be like, "Doc's never done anything dumb in his life. Don't let him fool you."
Because Cari used one, I'm going to use a tome to start too.
Yay! Congratulations, you get one.
I rolled a 20.
There you go.
All right. You take 2 points of fire damage as the flame begins to intensify, working its way up your arm. I need you to make another Constitution saving throw. We are disconnected again. Keep going.
This is a 20.
There you go.
Damn, Gary. Teera's never gonna live this down.
You take 7 more fire damage as your sleeve begins to catch fire, and the heat is intensifying, but you are still holding on. You've already beaten Teera.
Okay. I am going to roll again. Okay. That is a 24.
Damn, son, let's go.
All right. You take 5 more points of fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
You can begin to smell your own flesh burning. Your sleeve is fully engulfed in fire, as both your sleeve is burning, but also the fire from the flaming flagon is working its way up towards your shoulder. And there is now a palpable sense of investment from the crowd at the tavern here as people are starting to whisper, and you start to notice everybody else, you start to notice there's a few little side bets are starting to take place.
Oh, wow.
People are starting to see who can go, because Doc, you are about to approach what is the furthest anybody's ever gone.
And Teera starts to go, Doc.
I am going to
and try to like drum up the crowd.
I'm going to use another domain tome.
Okay.
Talk.
For some reason, somebody misunderstands you, and the crowd is now chanting "Duck, duck, duck."
And as the crowd starts chanting "Duck, duck, duck," Einstein Jr. starts quacking from beneath Doc's coat.
Yes.
Quack, 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 quack.
Amazing.
I'm going to give you a point of inspiration for that.
Attaboy. Good for you.
Thank you. So I rolled, my best roll was a 15 plus 7. So that is a 22. But Doc is thinking back. His eyes, as he's holding this flagon, his eyes glaze over. Wait, which of these do I have?
Smell of burnt flesh brings up a memory. This is gonna be terrible.
He feels it isn't so much fire, but boiling water. And he opens his eyes, and all he can see around him is the bubbling of water in every direction, and the feeling of burning of his flesh. And that is a 26.
So that is 9 more points of fire damage. The side betting and the fervor is getting more intense as you are attempting to go to 5 rounds.
Vernushka's gonna put a bet on one of the side bets.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
I put 5 gold up. It makes it to this round.
Okay, so that is a 23. However, Doc is thinking back to a moment. He can feel the burning of his skin beneath the water, and he can feel the bubbles rustling up against his skin as they bubble to the surface. And then his eyes, it's almost like he's blinded as he feels electricity coursing through his body, and that is going to be a 27.
What?
You can feel the urge to release. And every time you feel the urge to release, you feel this intensity of these memories forcing you to hold on longer. You take 13 more points of fire damage. As the flames are now moving across your chest, and you all see as they're starting to lick up the side of Doc's face. They are also changing as the flames begin to take on a green tint. And the audience is now, everybody in this tavern.
Whoa.
In fact, you even hear this sort of from the behind the bar as the kitchen door opens, and you see a grizzled old fire genasi with a cigar in his mouth and a white apron come out and just kind of stand there and go like this, cock an eyebrow.
Wow.
This has got the attention of the
This ain't
backstaff.
something you see every day.
Yeah. And I imagine somewhere some kid's going, come to the flaming flag and you'll never believe what's happening.
There's like little eyeballs
Yeah.
peeking up over a window, like in.
Yeah, one of the little kids is running around taking everybody's bets. You are moving on to round 6, Doc.
Oh my God, Doc,
And
do it.
Francisco's gonna place a what I don't know how much I've won so far because I placed that he would make it to the next one.
Are you betting for Doc or against Doc?
for
That's a
Doc?
good question.
Okay.
For Doc. I
How
bet
much are
for
you
Doc
putting
in both
up?
rounds. Last round I put up 5 gold.
Okay.
This round I'm putting up 25 gold. I'm not sure what the odds are.
No
Okay.
pressure, Jesus. Okay, here we go.
And then
Do it, Gary!
Okay. So, that was a 14. However, Doc is his eyes have not. You've seen him in this before, and he is completely focused on what he's doing, and the memory that flashes before his eyes isn't. It's not even a memory. It's just a surge of nerve endings firing all at the same time, as if the lightning activated his nervous system and triggered all of his pain receptors all at once. And he's just going to scream, like not in pain, but just gutturally from the bottom of his lungs, like,
Oh my God.
and so that will take me up to 18. And then I'm going to use this other thing and see if that will. I think I'm not going to get it, but we will see. I'm rolling a d6.
What is the other thing?
Well, I have Flash of Genius, and which is I can add my intelligence bonus as a reaction. But I also have my past life stuff, which I'm not going to show you my camera because you'll see my dirty laundry by my chair. But the total is 24. I rolled a 6. Is the best I could do.
Doc,
Something primal is about to happen, y'all.
you feel yourself getting in touch with a part of yourself you haven't gotten in touch with in a long time. And you're pushing through, and as the flames wreathe up the side of your face, it's too much for you to bear, and you release the tankard.
Oh, at this
I would like
level,
you
it's
to roll. I would like you to roll a d6.
Six.
And multiply it by 5. So that's
Okay.
30.
30.
So you get up to 30 hit points back of what you lost as the flames go. And the whole crowd is dead silent for a moment. And then they just. Yeah! And
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are
As the crowd erupts, Doc sees his seared flesh, and he's gonna reach up and go.
And
Oh my God.
where the flesh was seared, as you do that, it just sort of like the outer layer just blows away, and partially healed or all healed. I don't know how much that healed you of the damage you took, but the tankard turns over, and 800 gold pieces spill out. And by this point, the Goliath has brought over a wooden bucket and is just sort of holding it under there. And it's like when one of those old ladies at the casino wins big and
Yes,
the coins are spilling
yes.
out. And just as the last of the coins start to kind of drop into the bucket, all of a sudden, something heavier falls out. Chunk. And everybody's like, huh? And even the Goliath goes,
Huh?
I've never seen anybody go this far before. And he hands the bucket over to you, Doc. You have 800 gold pieces and a mystery key. Mystery key? Mystery key is an actual magic item that you can add to your inventory.
Okay.
Cool.
Basically, if I remember correctly, it's any lock you encounter, there's a 5% chance that this key will unlock it.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Brant, the Goliath turns to everybody and says, well, this is by far the most excitement we've seen at the Flaming Flagon, and I believe we have at least one more challenger. If you're still up to it. And he kind of narrows his eyes at you, Vernushka.
And Vernushka is going to, like, she's standing, and then, I don't know, did I win on my $25 gold bet?
Oh, so any money you would have won from the first bet?
Yeah.
So you won 30 gold on your first bet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how betting odds work. I'm just doing some makeup math. But you lost 50 gold on your second bet.
Okay. All right. Well, then I still have...
Doesn't matter. Ricky doesn't track his gold anyway.
Right, as Vernushka doesn't. Vernushka's going to look around the bar, look at everyone, looking at her, as she goes, I think we have our champion for the night. This round's on me, and throws the 30 gold to the Moon Elf or whoever's taking
Shavesh.
it, and buys everyone around it a Avash.
Oh, nice. Cool.
And then sits back down with the blood axe and sits down in the chair with a quiet admiration.
Were you going to
Ah.
Were you going to do the challenge?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you were going to do the challenge.
She was going to do it
I was.
originally, but then...
Yeah, after that, there's no need.
Okay. At this point, in addition to you buying drinks for everybody, you do not have to spend any gold the rest of the night because, as usually happens when somebody wins a large sum of money, everybody is sending drinks to your table and nothing fancy, but people are buying you drinks and every once in a while somebody will come by and Doc, they'll clap you on the shoulders. Usually either ignoring you altogether, Teera, or they'll clap Doc on the shoulders and then look at you and go and just kind of go, you had a chance.
Tira's not feeling too bad about, honestly, like, this is one of the first times. Normally Teera would be grumbly and like kind of pissy about this, but she is genuinely like very happy for and proud of Doc. Like she's wrapped her hand where it's burned and she's just drinking away whatever sting is left, but she is genuinely truly happy for Doc. Happier for Doc than she is pissy for herself.
Well, what's next?
So this goes on for a little bit, eventually sort of dying down, and people kind of get back to doing their things. You definitely hear people are already starting to, tell stories and sort of change up their memory of what actually happened, embellishing on certain facts, and you see a couple people are reenacting Doc's primal scream, and at least a couple people are like, did you see the duck? And other people are like, what? There was no duck. No, there was totally a duck. So already, this is a story that's going to start to get filtered through.
Incredible.
After things start to settle down, the Goliath comes over and he says, That was very impressive. In all the time I've been here, I have never seen nor heard of anybody making it as far as you did. Legend tells it could go on forever. That greater and greater amounts of money will come out, but I never saw a key. Don't know what it goes to, but it's yours.
Thanks.
Her name's Branix.
I'm Doc. That's Teera, and Vornushka, and the little one over there is Marta, and Mizya is the sullen one.
Yes, yes.
As always, ribbing with joy.
Well, I have to admit, I had my eyes on you when you walked in.
I'm married, but I'm available.
It is... you actually get a chuckle out of him as he goes, it's not at all what I meant. I know most of the people that frequent this establishment, and I know a lot of the farmers and homesteaders and merchants around here, as well as the soldiers, and I don't recognize any of you.
Yeah,
not-
we're just passing through.
Well, fair enough. We've been seeing a few more strangers come through the area with the approach of summertide, and of course this being a shield meet year. And we're hearing tell if hold on, I have a name here I'll say in a moment. Find it. If Fellowville the Green is to be believed, there's going to be a blood moon this shield meet.
Oh.
That'll be something to see.
Teera would kind of like squint her eyes and be like, "Why? It's just a blood moon. I mean, it's a coincidence, but something to see."
Well, according to Fellowville, well, even Elvana has said that there are many wizards, sorcerers, and druids that will take advantage of the increase in the potency of the weave on a blood moon. But I don't go all in for all that magic stuff, so I don't honestly know. It's hearsay at this point.
Yeah.
You on your way to somewhere? Now, I understand if you want to tell me where, but
Yes.
just kind of getting a sense of what direction you're heading.
To be fair, and Teera is a little tipsy at this point. She's like, I mean, really isn't everybody on their way to somewhere? When you really think about it, we're all just going somewhere. And she kind of like looks at Doc and she says, I'm starting to sound like you. Yeah, we're on our way somewhere.
Sometimes we kill families, animals, and pets.
I haven't killed anyone's family or pets. That seems a weird thing to say, Vornushka.
But we did. Remember that time when we, the little head pops up out of the ground and we just, and Vernushka's obviously drunk too.
You just get a couple raised eyebrows from Branix. If you're heading, well, for the most part, any direction other than north, it's not exactly the safest of roads. Between Yartar to the west and Everland to the east, the Evermore Way can be a bit dangerous. You're heading south towards the High Forest, you'll have to cross through that area. From time to time, trolls, ogres, and giants wander out of the Evermoors down into that area. Now, the Silver Jackals should be keeping an eye on that, but these days you gotta watch out for them just as much as you do anybody else.
Who are the Silver Jackals?
Oh, once upon a time, they were wardens and rangers, protectors, keeping people safe as they traveled back and forth and watching out for merchant caravans and things like that. But in the last few years, well, the person who's running it now is treating it like their own private mercenary band. You'll know them if you see them. It's a half-black dragon by the name of Thrist Themed and her broodmates. They command several of the contingents.
And you said that is to the south in the High Forest?
Now, they cover all of this area, from Yartar to Everland, down to the High Forest. They don't go too far into the High Forest these days. Turlang has dominion over that region. Just be wary of that. You look like a formidable group. He kind of looks at you, Doc, and Varnushka. Well, most of you, as he looks at Mizya and Marta.
And don't forget, Teera only made it through one round.
And I would kind of like put my hand on Doc's like shoulder, like right here, and I would kind of shake him like friendly, like, and I would just be like, and my man Doc made it as far as anybody ever has, eh? And she would like raise her glass.
Oh, I mean, further.
And she would just be like, to yell to the people around her in the bar, and it's like, 3 cheers for Doc! And she would really emphasize the O in Doc this time.
As they're 3 cheersing, Doc, they're chanting Doc's name. He's gonna be like, me, 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 me.
Amazing.
I would like somebody to roll me a D100, please.
Not it.
Sure. 97.
Whoa.
I rolled an 82, which means 20 within 20 of either side, so
That's
is a thing
15.
happening. I need you to roll a D20.
Oh no.
Now you roll a 14, you piece
Last
of
time
shit.
we did this
14.
shit,
14. Okay. So,
You guys have to accept bad rules.
last time we did this, we murdered everybody's pets.
give me one moment to bring this up. Everything's running super slow, whatever issue is happening with.
Okay. While
This
Jake is
computer.
taking a second to figure out the tech, be sure to check out all of the fine programs on many terrain domains, such as Descent into Avernus, Road Warriors of Hell, Broken Branch, the Mythos campaign, Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep mysteries.
That's the show you're watching right now.
And that's the show we're watching right now. Feel free to watch us on all the VODs. And don't forget our wonderful friends, the Dawnbringers, whose series is coming to an end after this season with Rise of a Charlatan, their final season.
Excellent vamp.
Thanks.
So, you see, or rather hear, the front door of the tavern is suddenly slams open. It's that sort of where it hits and goes, and you see a few people sort of scatter, and then you see about what looks to be about 9 or 10, 10 total of these rough-looking men and women in leather armor with swords at their belts, come filing in the way of like almost like a biker gang walking into a bar.
Like the Crazy 88 in frickin' Kill Bill.
Yeah, they come walking in. One of them, you notice, you only saw him sort of in the dark, partially lit, but you see the clearly broken nose and the blood smear on his face. It's the one who got his nose punched when you came into town. You see a couple of what look like wood elves, also wearing leather armor, but they've got a very like leafy pattern to it. They look like if they stepped outside into the bush, they would just vanish. And they have long bows strung across their backs, swords at their belts. And then you hear them first as you hear heavy footsteps. And you see what looks to be dwarven-sized woman with clearly draconic features. Not dragonborn, but half dragon. Black scales running up and down their arms. You see a long black beard sort of forming. And she is wearing plate armor. And she has a what looks like a very heavy warhammer at her belt. So think in terms of like Mjolnir. And then next to her, you see this human woman wearing robes of blacks and purples with some silver lining. Looks to be some sort of a priest. As she walks in, and Branix is where he's been talking to you, kind of stands up.
Ooh.
Thava,
Ooh.
what are you doing here? Hey, Branix! I was hoping you'd be working tonight. One of your patrons has beaten up on one of my wardens. She kind of nods ahead towards the one with the bloody nose as he's kind of shifting. Now that he's got like his whole gang there.
He's very puffed up.
He's kind of, yeah, he's very like...
Yeah.
Which does this person indicate which patron it is?
Nods over at him, yeah.
No, the one who punched the guy?
Yeah.
No, they don't. That hasn't been
Okay.
said
I'm just
yet.
making sure okay.
Nope. Branix says he got what he deserved. And he'll get it again if he keeps that up. And she looks at Branix and just says, "Right. I don't want to have to go about messing up this place. It's a nice tavern. You've got good ale. You've got good spirits. All I need is for you to give me the one responsible."
Teera takes a big swig of the expensive liquor at this point and kind of looks over at Vornushka.
And Vornushka looks back at her and says, "The blood axe is never wrong."
And
that
she
harkens
would
back to the comment earlier.
She would actually put a hand on Vornushka's shoulder, which is the first time she's actually made contact with Vornushka, and just be like, "Wait a second, they might work it out."
And Vornushka's eyes go wide for a moment at the contact, and then immediately soften And she goes, my axe doesn't think so.
Neither do I.
Doc is going to stand and he's going to stretch his arm. The skin is literally still smoking. All anyone can smell is burnt bacon. And he's going to put a hand on Brannix's shoulder. And he's going to step forward and he's going to look at the this half dragon, whatever. And he's going to say, is this the guy you were talking about? To Brannix.
No. This is one of Thrist Thiene's broodmates, a half-sister.
Oh.
Teera would stand up at this point and be like, and kind of look specifically, how tall is this? Did you mention how tall?
About maybe 4 feet tall.
And then Teera kind of like looks down notably at this person and be like, half sister is right.
I would like you to make an intimidation check at disadvantage. Actually,
Ooh.
yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be at disadvantage because you're drunk.
Okay. Oh God. No. Intimidation. That's still a 17, baby.
Well, this is the
Let's
second
go.
time you and I have had opposed charisma checks
There you go.
that have equaled. I rolled a 17 as well.
Ooh.
She doesn't even take a step. She just glances over at you, Teera. I may be half the size of you, but I'll kick your ass twice as much.
Fornushka is dying laughing. Like, she cannot.
And Teera
fall on the
kind of like
ground
looks
laughing.
over and kind of starts to laugh too.
Doc is going to sort of like kind of get low to get eye to eye with this 4-foot half dragon.
Oh my God.
She's
are you
half
kneeling?
dragon, half dwarf.
All right, whatever.
So cool.
And he's gonna say,
Laughing.
you're talking about kicking people's ass like you're in school. That's not how we do things. We don't kick people's ass. We put them in the ground.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We
Yes.
bury them deep.
Yes.
So
Yes.
deep that their names are forgotten to history.
Oh,
I would
preach.
recommend you turn around before we cause everyone to forget your name.
Oh, Vernushka is
And
like
Doc would like
black
to
grandma.
and Doc would like to make an intimidation check.
Yes.
And I will
Jake.
do so with a tome.
I was going to say, hold on. Wait a minute, Gary. Jake. You need to just give him advantage on that. That was a frickin'. That was
Vernushka
something.
is
I mean, it
like
was well
a
done, and he
black
has a point of inspiration.
I have
But he also
11 points
chooses-
of inspiration.
He also chooses to use a tome.
That's fine.
Vernushka feels
He's
the
also
Holy
facing
Ghost.
off against a broodmate of the local warlord, so
You know what? That was the most.
you guys are like the A team that just rolled into one of these random Southern California
Yeah.
towns.
Can I be
and-
Mr. T?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm afraid Doc appears to be Mr. T.
Oh, I would never mind. I was just gonna say.
I mean, Vernushka is like the hype man in a rap battle. Like, she is like, oh my, like, yes! Like a black
Exactly.
grandma in a Pentecostal Southern Baptist church. Just feeling the Holy
Nice.
Ghost.
All right.
I'm a-
Hang on, don't
that's
say
wrong.
anything. I'm counting.
Oh, sorry. Focusing
So
on
Doc is going to narrow his eyes at this broodmate. And the only person who's going to see what's about to happen is this broodmate. Something's going to happen that is nobody's ever seen before. Doc is going to have a moment of recollection. Except instead of his eyes turning white, they're going to flash blood red.
Yes.
The only image that is vision that he can see in his mind is a literal river of blood.
Oh my god. Yes.
And his breathing becomes slightly quickened. And he is going to look at this creature and say, not only do I want you to leave here now, I don't ever want you to come back. And if you do, I'll find you. I got a 28.
Does the blood axe react to these dark visions in Doc because of the blood rivers and such?
I mean, the blood axe isn't telepathic, so
Can I make an insight check on Doc? Can I see if he's still our good buddy?
you're like, I just want to see if are you okay?
Can I? All right, hey, bud.
Oh my gosh! Can we all go Sith Lord?
I want to make. Can I make an insight check because Doc and I are like friends?
You can certainly try.
I would love to.
Vernushka recognizes that blood.
That's a
flare in the eyes.
19.
Yeah.
How's Doc doing?
You saw what you saw.
buddy.
You saw what you saw. I mean,
I saw the blood red eyes and the.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's across the room. I don't know if you saw the blood red eyes, but
I just see Doc's posture change and.
I would say that's probably reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. I noticed something was off about Doc. That's what I'll say. Wow. Shit.
There's this moment where Thava is just staring you right back in the eyes, Doc, looking up at you. You see her hand resting on that warhammer. And you see the fingers twitching like she's wanting to pull that warhammer out and use it. Then she looks at you and says, I'm not even gonna waste my time with you and your friends. Just remember, this entire region belongs to the Silver Jackals. And while you're here, you're under the watchful eye of Mirrowblight. And she looks past you, Doc, at Branix and says, or actually, she doesn't even look past you. She just does that thing where she's looking right at you, but talking to Branix.
Says oh yes, I know exactly what
She's staring right at you and she says, you tell your people that if they are going to draw blood on my people, they better be prepared to have their blood spilled. She stands there for a beat, looks you up and down, and then she goes, spits on the floor at your feet, Doc. You see a small hole burn into the floor.
Oh, cool.
I won't forget you.
And as she says that,
Oh my god.
Doc is going to stare back and he's going to say, for your sake, I hope you do.
She looks away from you. She kind of turns her head, eyes still sort of looking at you. And then she looks to the woman, the priest next to her. Let's roll them out. We've got places to be better than this. And turns. And as she walks out, the rest of this contingent of silver jackals walks out behind her.
Anushka looks over at Teera and goes, That's what I'm fucking talking about.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yes. Teera looks slightly more concerned. Her face is at first kind of agreeing, but then kind of like looks back at Doc, and there's a look of concern on her face.
So yeah, you rolled.
Jesus Christ, Gary! Gary turned it up to an 11.
So because of the
Dark
incident
side.
at the start, I knew that there was going to be a contingent of the Silver Jackals. I had you roll. There's a 40% chance that a contingent has one of the commanders, and you rolled within that 40%. So you got one of the bosses,
Amazing.
and you made a new friend.
Yeah.
So
A person that we know at the very least.
just a quick note for those who might still be in the audience watching live. The stream's disconnected like 8 times, I think. So I'm sorry about that. But if you're watching VOD, I've edited all that out, maybe.
Hey, thank you for joining us here, not live.
Or you probably didn't even notice it, except for a couple edits at the beginning, because you'll just hear the ding.
But
Don't know what's going on. So it happens. It being shit. Shit
it
happens.
almost never happens to us.
No, it's been a long time, so I think there's something going on. I'll have to do some looking around, but no big
Probably an
deal.
OBS thing.
Let's just all buy dark robes and buy some red crystals and build red swords and just call ourselves the Sith Lords. And let's just
Indeed, let's
Let's
do
go.
that.
There's a part of me that can't help but wonder what might have gone differently if Dwight and Em were here.
Yeah, same. I could see Mizya doing something, except, guys, you're okay.
Well, I knew Mizya wasn't gonna.
Badass monologue, and now fucking Gary pulled out a badass monologue. Ricky, you and I need to step up.
I mean, my character's already dark side. I'm not sure. Like the only character you have left is Marta. That's really like yellow butterflies and happiness. Otherwise, everyone is all
good. You all keep saying Teera's got the evil scent of evil. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm gonna do the outro real quick because we
Sorry.
keep. Then we can talk.
Okay.
Just because it's just disconnected and reconnected again.
No worries. Sorry.
But when I see Vernushka, I think of that Star Wars Visions episode. The lightsaber, it's red.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
All right. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, especially if you stuck around through all of our technical difficulties. I'm not going to throw a raid anywhere because I don't know if anybody's even here or if we'll get disconnected while trying to raid. So, but thank you for everybody who supported the channel. Subs from Arsenic and Catnip 14, Smokebeard. Cheers from Cari and What You're Looking At with that 54-month resub. That's dedication, y'all.
We are live, side note, and we have 9 viewers. So if you want to raid somebody,
mine says we have 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I see a bunch of names in chat, but who knows
I
if it's
see
real.
9.
I honestly don't know what's going on.
It's okay. Don't worry
Whatever.
about it. No. I'm sorry.
So I'm just producer me is frustrated at the
Absolutely.
stream constantly dropping. All right, I see. Here we go. If it works, it works. If it works, we're gonna send y'all over to the good folks at Tildaloo playing Stardew Valley. Anyway, thank you to everybody who hung out with us in chat one way or another. We'll be back here next Monday with more Scribes and Scrolls. We should be back tomorrow with Descent into Avernus, Road Warriors of Hell. Otherwise, just stay tuned. You never know when I might throw up another random mini stream or painting stream, or we did the deck of stories last Thursday and built an adventure, all that good stuff.
That was really cool.
And as always, thank you to these incredible players that I get to play with every week. Thank you to Gary, Cari, Ricky, and though they weren't here, they were here with us in spirit, Em and Dwight, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours, especially with all the technical difficulties. Would literally just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we are going to end this stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want.